So if you were to ask the Bad Batch if they wanted a video game made after them, do you think they would be humble and say, nah, you know, that's all right? Or do you think they'd say, yes, please make a video game after us? I think it would be the latter. I think Wrecker would definitely be sounding off saying, yes, I want a video game made after me because I want to blow stuff up in the video game. And if you watched the last episode of The Bad Batch, and spoiler warning, by the way, if you watched it, you know that Cad Bane appeared, and everyone's talking about Cad Bane, which is understandable. You know, I am super excited that Cad Bane has returned. I absolutely love Cad Bane, but a lot of people haven't really been talking about this right here. That cutaway shot at the end that showed a first-person perspective from Hunter's view, and this immediately gave me flashbacks of Republic Commando gameplay right here. And I immediately thought, how cool would it be if we got a Bad Batch video game in the style of Republic Commando? I know you thought it, I thought it, I know a lot of people thought it, especially fans of Republic Commando. So sound off in the comments, would you want to see a Republic Commando Bad Batch style game, you know, made on the next gen consoles? I definitely would love to see this, and we're going to talk about it in this video, how such a game could be made, who would make it, and so on and so forth. And I'll start off right away by saying that if I were to choose a developer for a Bad Batch Republic Commando style video game, I would definitely go with Vince Zampella and his team over at Respawn Entertainment and DICE LA. Now, the reason why I say DICE LA is because Vince is now heading that studio over at DICE LA, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's doing something Star Wars with either Respawn once again or something brand new with DICE LA. Now, of course, Respawn Entertainment, they already have that Star Wars pedigree underneath them with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, so they already have you know, the experience with Star Wars, and I'm guessing that Vince wants to probably make another Star Wars game. Again, this is complete speculation, but that's who I would choose to make a Star Wars Bad Batch video game. Another reason that I would choose Vince Zampella is because he literally created Call of Duty. I don't know if you know this, but he created the Call of Duty franchise, so he has immense experience creating first-person shooters. I mean, this guy, he knows what he's doing. Him and his team, they know what they're doing. They have the passion. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got another Star Wars game besides Jedi Fallen Order from the team at Respawn Entertainment or DICE LA under the leadership of Vince Zampella. Now, if that said, what would such a game look like? You know, first of all, it could be a first-person game like we see here with Republic Commando. They could also do third-person as well, maybe have the ability to switch between first-person and third-person views. But, you know, if they did something in the style of Republic Commando, I'm guessing it would lean more heavily towards a first-person perspective, which would be awesome because we don't really have a first-person Star Wars game right now at all. Now, you know, there's some things that they could do with it. They could have it where, you know, you could play the game solo by yourself and the ability to command your squad similar to how you do it in Republic Commando, or they could allow you to play it with friends as well, which I would love to see that. So I'd love to see this game have the ability where you could play it solo or invite your friends to play with you at any time. Now, each member of the Bad Batch, of course, could play a vital role on the team, similar to how they did it with Republic Commando. So Hunter, of course, could have the leadership abilities, like, you know, buffing the team, ordering them, stuff like that. Wrecker would be the tank and brawler, getting up close, you know, having the ability to take a lot of damage, maybe shield his teammates. Tech and Echo could have the ability to hack systems and maybe provide reconnaissance for their team. And then finally, Crosshair, if he is on the Bad Batch team, if he makes it back, Crosshair would be the long-range sniper, and maybe he could have like a recon drone as well and provide reconnaissance in that way. Maybe some long-range binoculars too. So a lot of stuff they could do with the Bad Batch in a video game. Now, regarding Omega, I'm not sure if she would be in the game or if she'd be a playable character. It really depends on the time frame. I mean, it would be cool to have some missions where you have to protect Omega, maybe have the ability to play as her. Stuff like that would be cool as well. Now, going back to the fact that I would like to see this be a solo game or a co-op game, to add to that, if you played solo, I would love to have the ability to be able to actually switch between teammates and control them. So, you know, for instance, if you're playing as Hunter and you come across a terminal that needs some hacking, it would be cool to have the ability to actually switch into the body of Tech or Echo and then hack that system yourself. Or maybe you're coming across a big enemy that requires you to take over Wrecker and get up close and do some major melee damage to that enemy. Stuff like that I think would be really cool to see in a Bad Batch video game. It would add a lot of immersion. Of course, if you have your friends with you, you wouldn't be able to switch and control the other teammates, of course, because your friends would be controlling them. But if you're playing solo, I think it'd be cool to have the ability to switch into their bodies and control them. Now, speaking of gameplay, let's talk about multiplayer, because I think a multiplayer component in this game where you could do PvP would be awesome. I think that Star Wars right now needs to really kind of go after the Call of Duty market, if you will, and provide something like Call of Duty Team Deathmatch mode in a Bad Batch game. Not sure exactly how they would do that. I'm guessing that you'd be able to maybe create your own clone commando with your own unique loadout and abilities to face off against other players on many different maps. But sound off in the comments, would you like to see a multiplayer component in a Bad Batch video game? I think it would be a shame if they would skip that, because, you know, a lot of players, I think after they're done with the single player campaign, they would definitely jump into multiplayer and create their own clone commando, you know, with their own custom look, their own custom loadout and stuff like that. I think that would be a win-win situation for a Star Wars Bad Batch game. Now, I'm going to jump back over to what the single player campaign could offer in such a game. You know, we've already talked about the ability to, you know, switch between teammates' bodies so you can take advantage of their abilities. But I think it'd also be cool to have the ability to traverse different planets and travel to different planets at your own will, similar to how we did it in Jedi Fallen Order. I thought it was really cool how Jedi Fallen Order opened up the gameplay and allowed players to choose between like Dathomir and Zepho and choose between those different planets that they wanted to travel to. And I think something similar like that would really benefit a Bad Batch game, because imagine playing with your friends, right? You get done with your first mission and then you're presented with a holo table where you can travel to 4 or 5 different planets, and you're all discussing and debating which planet are we going to go to next. I think that'd be so much fun to do with your friends, because, you know, of course there'll be some arguing like, I want to go to this planet, you know, and it would be a big decision on which planet you'd go to next. So again, a lot of stuff they could do with the single player and co-op gameplay of a Bad Batch game. But those are just a few of my ideas. And again, this all spawned from this one single moment in the latest episode of the Bad Batch. I couldn't stop thinking about this moment. And again, a lot of people aren't really talking about this moment in the latest episode. They're more focused on Cad Bane. So I want to take time to really talk about this with you all. So leave a comment, join in on the conversation. Let me know what you'd want to see in a Bad Batch video game. I'll see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.